My beloved child, remain alert to anything unusual around you, but do not allow any warning to drive you into panic, because I never guide you through uncontrollable fear. I know that there are moments when you suddenly feel uneasy, as though a familiar space has become strange. A small sound makes you startle, or a vehicle remaining outside for too long causes your mind to imagine many frightening possibilities. In those moments, the first thing you need to do is not immediately believe every assumption, nor rush outside to confront something you do not yet understand. Pause. Secure your doors carefully. Observe with calmness, and bring yourself back to reality. True awareness does not make you tremble before every shadow. It helps you distinguish what is supported by evidence, what is merely an echo of anxiety, and what needs to be addressed through practical action. I want you to remember that not every feeling of being watched means that someone is truly pursuing you. When you have endured prolonged stress, sleeplessness, or emotional pain, your mind can become so sensitive that it continually searches for danger, even in ordinary situations. This does not make you weak or shameful. It simply shows that you have been tense for too long and now need rest, listening, and support. Therefore, do not allow a message spoken in an urgent tone to convince you that you have only a few minutes left to save yourself. I do not place you beneath a countdown clock in order to control your attention. I do not demand that you watch a video, type a number, or perform a symbolic action in exchange for protection. Safety is not purchased through likes, comments, or fear. It is preserved through wisdom, awareness, and sound choices. If you truly see a stranger standing outside your home, a vehicle appearing repeatedly, or behavior that gives you a specific reason for concern, address it clearly and sensibly. Do not go outside alone to confront anyone. Remain in a secure place. Check your windows and locks. Turn on lights where necessary. Contact a trusted relative or neighbor, and write down what you observe without adding meanings that are not supported by evidence. If the danger appears immediate, contact the appropriate local authorities. This is not a lack of faith. It is the proper use of understanding and the resources already available around you. I do not ask you to prove courage by placing yourself in danger. Mature courage knows when to stand firm, when to step back, and when to call others for assistance. Do not quickly conclude that a power outage, a malfunctioning phone, or an unusual device is proof of a plot against you. Many problems have ordinary causes that can be investigated. Check the power source. Contact technical support. Change your passwords if you suspect unauthorized access. Enable security verification. And review the devices logged into your accounts. Discernment does not deny that risks can exist, but it also does not transform every uncertainty into a frightening story. I want you to walk between these two extremes, not so naive that you ignore practical warning signs, but not so fearful that your imagination pulls you into a maze of unsupported assumptions. There are voices in this world that try to hold your attention by convincing you that disaster will occur if you leave. They tell you that only 30 minutes remain, that a hidden power is targeting you, or that one small action on a screen will unlock protection. Recognize the nature of this pressure. Such words do not create clarity. They increase your heartbeat, weaken your ability to reason, and hand authority over your decisions to the person speaking. I do not treat you that way. When I warn you, I still leave you with the ability to think, verify, and choose. Guidance that comes from goodness does not turn you into a prisoner of fear. It returns you to calmness, shows you the next step, and does not steal your freedom. I know that you may have experienced events that wounded your sense of safety. Someone may have betrayed your trust. A situation may have left you powerless. Or there may have been nights when you had to protect yourself without knowing whom to rely upon. These memories sometimes return as excessive vigilance. A small sound can remind you of former danger, and a stranger may awaken the feeling of being threatened. My child, do not blame yourself for that response, but do not allow it to determine every way you see the present. Tell a trustworthy person what you are feeling. If fear appears frequently, prevents you from sleeping, causes you to avoid people, or makes you certain that ordinary events are personally targeting you, seek support from an appropriate professional. Asking for help is not admitting defeat. It is a sign that you are choosing peace instead of allowing anxiety to grow in silence. In this moment, bring yourself back to what can be confirmed. Where are you? Are the doors locked? Is there someone you trust who can stay with you or speak with you by phone? What have you actually seen? And what part is only assumption? Write these things in 2 separate columns so that your mind does not mix facts with fear. Then, breathe slowly. Place your feet firmly on the floor and look around to remind yourself that you are in the present. You do not need to solve 10 imagined possibilities at once. Deal only with the step directly before you. If there is no specific sign of danger, give yourself permission to rest instead of continuing to search for things that make you more anxious. I also want you to be cautious about how you use social media when you feel vulnerable. Do not publicly share your address, the times when you are home alone, your travel habits, or private details that could create real risk. Review your account privacy settings. Limit location sharing, and avoid engaging with people who try to frighten you through dark predictions. If someone sends you a direct threat, do not argue with them. Save the evidence. Block them and report it through the proper channel. Protection is not only a prayer spoken in silence, it also includes the practical boundaries you establish to safeguard your life. Do not believe that your name is being spoken in a secret room simply because someone says it with confidence. Do not believe that an angel has recorded an enemy's face in a book of judgment merely because the story sends chills through you. You do not have to accept frightening images in order to prove your faith. I, Michael, do not come to feed an obsession with enemies. I come to teach you how to stand upright in truth. What you need is not knowledge of every possible conspiracy, but the ability to keep your mind clear, your life orderly, and your relationships healthy enough that you do not face difficulties alone. If there is a true emergency, it will be recognized through concrete signs and will require practical action. If there is no clear evidence, refuse to let baseless threats possess your night. Turn off content that makes you panic. Step away from the screen. Drink some water. And call someone who helps you feel grounded. You do not need to type a number in order to receive a blessing. You do not need to share a message in order to avoid disaster. Goodness does not bargain with you through fear. It does not tell you that peace will come only when you obey an online demand. Peace is cultivated when you return to truth. Remember your right to verify information. and refuse to let anyone control your emotions through mysterious claims. My beloved child, I still want you to remain alert, but with the alertness of someone whose eyes are clear, not someone who constantly stares out the window in terror. Keep your home secure. Protect your information. Listen to your intuition, but always test it against reality. Ask for help when there is a specific danger, and seek support when anxiety becomes too heavy. You are not alone, but you also do not need to imagine that an entire force is hunting you. Today, choose what brings you back to clarity. Remember that I do not drive you through countdown clocks, frighten you with nameless figures, or demand that you perform rituals on a screen. I guide you through calm courage, wisdom that can be verified, and love that teaches you to care for yourself. When you walk in this way, fear will no longer have the power to write your story. My beloved child, the unrest within your thoughts, the moments when your patience has been stretched, and the old wounds that suddenly awaken are not signs that you are becoming weak. They are indications that you are standing in the middle of a profound transformation. When an old season is closing and a new door is preparing to open, what has remained hidden is often brought into the light so that you can recognize it, heal it, and release it. Therefore, do not be surprised when things you thought you had overcome suddenly return and knock at your door. They have not come back to rule you again, but so that you may look at them with more mature eyes. I am giving you an opportunity to choose differently, respond differently, and prove to yourself that the past no longer holds authority over your steps. I know that recently your mind has sometimes felt crowded, as though too many thoughts were trying to enter a small space at once. Old stories, words that others once spoke, things you never had the chance to explain, and worries about the future keep taking turns appearing. You try to find one clear cause, yet you cannot fully name what is happening. Be still, because you have not lost your direction. You are simply being led out of a way of living that requires you to react to every sound around you. In the past, whenever you were misunderstood, you wanted to explain immediately. Whenever someone doubted your sincerity, you tried to provide proof. Whenever an old wound was touched, you either became angry in order to defend yourself or remained silent in bitterness. But now, you no longer want to repeat those circles. This does not mean that you have become cold. It means you have begun to recognize how precious your peace truly is. Some provocations are not seeking truth. They only want to pull you back into the person you once were. Some conversations are not opened in order to create understanding, but to force you into defending yourself until you become exhausted from speaking to someone who has already decided not to listen. I want you to recognize this before you give away more of your energy. Not every accusation needs an answer. Not every misunderstanding must be corrected immediately. Not everyone who asks a question truly wants to hear the response. There are moments when wisdom tells you to speak, but there are also moments when wisdom restrains your hand, softens your voice, and reminds you that silence will protect you better than any argument. I see the quiet change taking place within you. Where you once reacted instantly, you now know how to pause. Where you once hurried to prove you were right, you now observe attitudes and motives. Where you once feared that silence meant losing, you are beginning to understand that refusing to participate in chaos is also a victory. You are learning to distinguish between a conversation that can bring healing and a confrontation that will only create greater confusion. You are realizing that speaking more does not necessarily make the truth brighter. And explaining more does not guarantee that another person will change their perspective. Sometimes time reveals what your words cannot yet make clear. Sometimes continuing to live with dignity becomes the strongest answer to those who once doubted you. Do not be alarmed when you no longer want to remain in environments that once felt familiar. There were places you endured because you did not yet realize how much they were wearing you down. There were relationships you once called normal, but they actually required you to stay defensive. Make yourself smaller, or constantly guess how you would be treated that day. As your awareness expands, what is familiar no longer automatically means what is healthy. You will begin to feel tired more quickly around dishonesty, competition, unkind words, and cycles of drama. This does not mean you have become difficult. You simply no longer want to sacrifice peace in order to belong somewhere that never truly valued you. Your strength during this season may feel limited. You no longer want to appear everywhere, answer everyone, or accept responsibilities that do not belong to you. Receive this as an invitation to live selectively, not as a punishment. I am teaching you to protect your inner resources because you have spent too many years giving them to things that do not bring life. Every useless argument takes a portion of your focus. Every attempt to rescue someone who does not want to change causes you to forget your own care. Every time you assume responsibility for someone else, you step outside the portion of the road assigned to you. Therefore, the narrowing you feel is not meant to imprison you, but to teach you what truly deserves your attention. A space of silence is being created around you, not because you have been forgotten, but because you need enough quietness to hear something deeper. You have lived in noise for so long that stillness may initially make you uneasy. You were accustomed to always being needed, always having a problem to solve, and always having something demanding your response. When everything slows down, you may wonder whether you still have value, but your worth has never depended upon how useful you are to others. You are not loved only because you know how to sacrifice, endure, or appear whenever someone calls. I love you on the days when you are strong, and on the days when all you can do is rest and breathe slowly. Be cautious of reactions born from immediate pain. A response spoken in anger can prolong something that should have ended. A decision made while wounded can lead you back to a door I just helped you close. One moment of trying to prove yourself can give access to someone who no longer deserves to enter your peaceful space. I am not saying this to make you afraid of mistakes, but to remind you that slowing down is a form of protection. When emotions rise, you do not have to decide immediately. Allow your heart to settle and give clarity time to return. What is right will not require you to betray your peace in order to grasp it. This season has not been given to you so that you can display how strong you are, but so that you can protect the new person being formed within you. You do not need to announce to everyone that you have changed. Your choices will reveal it. When you no longer return to places that once exhausted you, your growth will be seen. When you know how to say no without shame, others will recognize your new boundaries. When you no longer answer every provocation, your calmness will become evidence of strength. Mature people do not need to win every argument. They know which arguments are not even worth beginning. I also want you to understand that protecting yourself does not mean closing yourself to everyone. Do not turn discernment into suspicion of every person. And do not use former wounds to build a wall that no one can cross. I am teaching you to establish a door, not construct a prison. A door can remain closed to danger while still opening to sincerity. You can still love without allowing yourself to be exploited. You can listen without carrying another person's problems. You can forgive without returning to a connection that has lost its safety. True wisdom does not harden your heart. It helps your compassion flow toward the right places. When you feel yourself growing distant from the old version of you, do not cling to that version simply because it is familiar. That person helped you survive many difficult days. But not every former survival method can accompany you into the future. I am making you calmer, clearer, and less controlled by the reactions of others. Things that once ruined your entire day will soon feel like a passing breeze. Words that once kept you awake will no longer possess enough power to steal your sleep. People who once caused you to doubt yourself will no longer determine how you view your own worth. This is the steadiness I am building, quiet, but enduring. Therefore, my beloved child, do not consider this season of withdrawal a regression. You are not running away from life. You are stepping out of cycles that no longer belong to you. You are not losing your voice. You are learning how to use it at the right time. You are not becoming distant. You are discerning who can genuinely walk beside you. Let silence do what words cannot accomplish. Let time reveal intentions that you no longer need to defend yourself against. Let each calm choice become a stone in the foundation of the person you are becoming. I am with you in this process, preserving your gentleness while making your steps firm. When this season ends, you will no longer be easily pulled into chaos simply because someone calls your name. You will know who you are, what deserves to remain, and that some of the greatest victories begin with a very quiet decision, not to react, not to return, and not to trade your peace merely to be understood. My beloved child, the person standing before you with a familiar appearance may not be entirely who you have believed them to be. Because sometimes the truth is not found in the smile they offer, but in the quiet uneasiness that remains after every encounter. I do not say this to frighten you or cause you to accuse anyone hastily. I say it because the time has come for you to stop dismissing the small things your heart has repeatedly tried to show you. Some words sound gentle, yet gradually cause you to doubt your worth. Some gestures appear caring, but are always accompanied by control. Some people act close only when they need something, then become cold when you no longer fulfill their desires. Truth is rarely revealed in one dramatic moment. It appears through repeated details that you have tried to explain away because you did not want to face the sorrow. I am Michael, and I have seen you repeatedly convince yourself that you were simply overthinking. You sensed that something was wrong, then blamed yourself for being too sensitive. You noticed a change in someone's eyes, heard coldness beneath their words, and realized that their stories no longer matched. But you continued trying to believe that everything would eventually be fine. I do not condemn you for wanting to preserve a relationship. A trusting heart is beautiful. But kindness does not require you to close your eyes to signs that continually make you uneasy. You can love while remaining discerning. You can forgive without restoring someone's right to harm you. You can wish someone well while choosing to remain at a safe distance. Dreams that awaken you, feelings that are difficult to name, and moments when your heart suddenly becomes heavy should not be turned into reasons to live in fear. They may simply be invitations to pause, Rest, and examine what you have tried to avoid. Not every dream is a prophecy, and not every coincidence contains a hidden secret. But neither should every feeling be dismissed. Wisdom means observing without rushing to judgment, verifying rather than inventing explanations, and seeking clarity before acting. I do not want panic to guide you. I want you guided by peace, truth, and evidence found in the way a person consistently treats you over time. You have endured enough to understand that not everyone who comes near can walk with you to the end. Some people appear to teach you about love. Some come to help you understand the value of boundaries. Others merely pass through so that you can learn how to let go. Do not regard every departure as a loss. Some doors close so that you will no longer trade your peace for a few moments of recognition. Some truths are revealed not to cause greater pain, but to end a cycle that has exhausted you. When what was hidden begins to appear, do not react immediately in anger. Step back, observe, and allow another person's behavior to speak more clearly than their promises. I know there is a fear within you that if you accept the truth, everything will change too quickly. You fear losing the peace of your home, the ending of an important relationship, or the realization that someone you trusted never truly understood the value of sincerity. But my child, peace built upon pretending not to see cannot last. What is healthy does not require you to remain continually silent in order to avoid conflict. Genuine love does not make you examine every word, fear every reaction, or constantly wonder what you did wrong. Where there is respect, you are allowed to express your feelings. Where there is honesty, your questions are not treated as insults. The time you spent ignoring discerning intuition is not proof that you were weak. It only shows how deeply you hoped. But hope must walk beside truth, or it becomes a veil that causes you to continue enduring what harms you. Therefore, I am not telling you to leave someone immediately because of one temporary feeling. I am telling you to slow down enough to examine the pattern. Does that person respect your words? Do they accept responsibility when they hurt you? Do they change through action, or merely make promises whenever they fear losing you? After spending time with them, do you feel strengthened? Or do you always have to become smaller? Honest answers will help you see what intense emotions can sometimes hide. A battle is taking place, but it is not a battle in which you must fight another person. It is the battle between discernment and the habit of denying yourself, between self-respect and the fear of abandonment, between peace and dependence upon outside approval. The sword I place in your hand is not meant to wound anyone. It is the ability to discern. It helps you cut through the lies that made you believe you must suffer in order to deserve love. It helps you separate compassion from enabling, forgiveness from returning to an old place, and love from the need to rescue someone who refuses to change. Do not believe that a blessing intended for you will be given to someone else simply because you missed a message or did not perform a particular ritual. What belongs to your journey is not determined by a comment, a number, or a moment you happen to pass by. I do not hold mercy above your head like a reward that can be taken away at any moment. However, every choice creates a direction, and if you continually ignore what is clear, you may keep yourself in a place that no longer fits you. This is not punishment from heaven, but the natural consequence of refusing to acknowledge what is happening. I remind you today so that you will not continue surrendering more time to lessons you already understand. Do not allow urgency to make you act without thought. Protect what matters through calmness. If you need to speak with someone, choose a safe time and use clear words. If you are at risk of being insulted, manipulated, or threatened, seek help from someone trustworthy and do not face the situation alone. If you need to leave an unhealthy environment, prepare carefully instead of announcing your departure while emotions are high. Courage is not always remaining to fight. Sometimes courage means walking away quietly, refusing to argue, and no longer returning to explain something the other person never wanted to understand. I did not weep because you were slow to recognize the truth. I grieved because you repeatedly knew that you were hurting, yet continued smiling so that others could remain comfortable. You became too accustomed to placing everyone else's needs before your own peace. You feared being called cold, selfish, or uncaring, so you kept opening the door even when you were exhausted inside. But, my beloved child, a compassionate heart also needs protection. You cannot continue pouring from an empty vessel. You do not have to sacrifice safety in order to prove that you know how to love. Mature love always contains boundaries. And boundaries are not walls built from hatred. They are gates guarded by wisdom. Therefore, return to yourself today. Write down what you have observed. Instead of relying only upon changing emotions, ask the counsel of someone wise, honest, and without personal interest in your decision. Spend quiet time distinguishing between fear created by an old wound and a warning supported by real signs. What is right will not require you to live in endless confusion. When you see the truth, even if it is painful, there will still be clarity beneath that pain. You will know what to do. Not because you are being forced, but because your heart no longer wants to betray its own peace. I am with you not to make you distrust everyone, but to help you stop distrusting yourself. Open your eyes, but do not let your heart become bitter. Remain alert, but do not turn caution into isolation. Give others an opportunity to demonstrate sincerity, but also believe repeated patterns. When words and actions are no longer consistent, trust the actions. When a relationship survives only because you continually surrender, it is not true harmony. When you must lose yourself to keep someone from leaving, the price is too high. My beloved child, this moment is not your final opportunity, but it may become the beginning of the first time you consciously choose yourself. Do not ignore this reminder. Allow truth to come near without resisting it. Then move forward with calmness. What belongs to you will not need deception in order to remain. A sincere person will not fear your honest questions. The right path will not demand that you trade your dignity in order to continue. I will remain near, illuminating everything that must be seen, helping you close doors that are no longer safe, and leading you toward a place where you are loved with respect, honesty, and peace.